Hello, I'm Ronan Chris Murphy from Recording Boot Camp, and today I'm coming from you from one of my favorite places on planet Earth. Those who follow my videos know I travel around a lot, but one of my favorite places on this whole beautiful globe of ours is Capon Springs, West Virginia. Up here in the mountains, there's an old hotel here that I've been coming to for over 30 years, and it's just awesome. Great food, a great golf course that's really laid back, beautiful setting in the mountains, and it's this crazy kind of time warp where you're like going back 60 years and getting kind of the good stuff of the old days and not the bad stuff, and we really love that. So but all of this, why am I talking about recording on a golf course? Well, we're here to solve the age-old question about Chris Lord-Alge versus Tiger Woods. Yes, well, so let's say, for instance, we had a chance to put Chris Lord-Alge, one of the most successful mixers of the last 10 years, on the golf course against Tiger Woods, one of the most successful golfers of the last 10 years. My money's on Tiger Woods, definitely on Tiger Woods. But what if we gave Chris Lord-Alge the best possible tools he could use, the best clubs, and we gave Tiger Woods just some cheap set that came from Walmart, beginner set? My money is still on Tiger Woods because great skills really outweigh everything. But what if we took Tiger Woods and put him against Charlie Wee? As of this morning, Charlie Wee from Korea is the 501st ranked golfer in the world. What if we put Charlie Wee with the best clubs possible up against Tiger Woods on that same cheapo beginner set from Walmart? My money is on Charlie, because the gear does make a difference. The reality is, anybody who knows this sport at all could watch me for 5 seconds and realize I am not a good golfer. But that doesn't stop me from going out and having fun whenever I get the chance, and I usually just go out with some cheapo borrowed beater clubs, and it doesn't stop me from having a great time with my brothers or anything like that. But the reality is, when I'm out playing golf with somebody and they've got a really nice driver and say, yeah, you want to use my driver on this hole? And I take a swing, as long as I keep my head down and I connect, I'm going to get a good another 20 yards at least on my drive, because the gear does make a difference. So what does this have really to do with recording? Well, there's a lot of debate always, and it seems to have brewed up recently. One of my favorite audio bloggers is doing a lot of stuff about, look, you can do it all with just the cheap gear. And he's right. But also, it doesn't tell the whole story. A lot of times when people, put a question out onto the internet, like, hey, I'm trying to get better acoustic guitar recording, so what new mic should I buy, or what new preamp should I buy? And he'll get, two parties going back and forth. One will say, it's not the gear, you just got to become a better engineer. And the other side will say, oh man, you can't use that cheap gear and get a decent sound, you've got to spend your money. The problem is they're both wrong and they're both right. And I think people tend to get too far into one side of that argument or the other. The reality is, it's the engineer and it's the gear. And we want to constantly be trying to, get our gear and our engineering skills to the highest level possible. So when you're looking at this, obviously we want to get our engineering skills great. And maybe that's why you want to check out Recording Boot Camp. But also, we want to be trying to get the best gear we can. Good news about that is the best gear isn't always the most expensive. But for instance, if I'm recording an acoustic guitar like I was last week, I pulled up my Perlman TM1, ran it into one of my A-Designs mic pre's into some Apogee converters. We pretty much push up the fader and it's almost done. We have a great guitar sound. It's just so easy to do. So when we've got the great gear, it really helps us, and it actually has more to do, in my opinion, than the great gear bringing all this extra stuff to the party. It's just that a lot of the bad gear really hurts the audio on the way in and makes you work much harder along the way. But, if I had a chance to work with some great band I was excited about, and all we had was some horrible piece of crap Behringer recording gear to work with, well, we're going to grab that Behringer gear and we're going to find a way to make a great record with it. The problem is this cheap gear is going to be hurting us and fighting us on the way back. But because I'm actually a pretty good engineer, we're going to work hard and we're going to find a way to overcome those deficiencies and make a great record. But given the chance, I would always choose the better gear because it makes things so much easier. Especially in my opinion, on the front end. If you've got good quality mics, great mic preamps, and solid conversion, this recording business is actually pretty easy. If you understand, you know, mic technique and understand gain staging and things like that, man, engineering is easy. Get a cool sound, put a mic in front of it, don't do anything stupid and drive it into the ditch. And then when you get to mix time, it just gets to be this fun issue of balancing and different creative work versus when we start with some really horrible cheapo condenser into a bad mic pre into subpar conversion. Come mix time, most of our energy goes into trying to overcome, you know, how much that bad gear has hurt our audio going in. So all of this just to say that when you start looking at balancing skills versus gear, really the skills are always the most important. Chris Lord-Alge or Bob Clearmountain with the cheapest gear on the planet will still probably make a cooler mix than the rest of us mortals could do. But, you know, every great tool we have pushes things a little farther. There's a reason both of those guys have great studios with incredible gear. It makes their job easier and they can just focus on being creative rather than fighting their gear. So get your skills up as best you can and do whatever you can to get the great gear. So we don't all have a lot of money all the time, but find ways to get the best stuff you can, whether it's purchasing or really focusing your creative time for tracking. Find a way to maybe rent in or borrow some great gear, because when it comes time to mix, things done with good gear are going to come together much easier. Great reverbs will blend into your mix much better than crummy reverbs. Great EQs will help you mold sounds much easier than crappy EQ. So we always want to focus on the best gear we possibly can. And most of all, we want to make sure we're focusing most and constantly on the music, because all of our engineering skills and all of our gear means absolutely nothing if it is not serving the music we are working on. So that is it. I should get back to trying to play some golf. Not well, but it's not going to stop me from having fun. And all these videos I do, you know, probably 100 or so now, the fun of doing all these free ones is when people leave comments and share and like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. So if you dig what I'm doing here, please share it and drop me a note to let me know that you're enjoying it. All right, thanks. All right, have fun. Bye.